Amari, the charismatic enigma here, and you are watching the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast.
Bitch, I'm that damn good. Smoking on some good, some rosy on the wood. Standing on the shit so you can get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Smoking on some good, something rosy on the wood. And bitch, I got the belt so you just get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Big ol' fire, I'm turning. Big ol' wood, I'm burning. Big ol' booty, I'm yearning. Big ol' bucks, I'm earning.
I put her in. Pushing her. I'm about to give her that weight. Yeah, she in there living like China. I'm in those types of referee.
I put a ring on the Stephanie. Me and the team is building a legacy, winning the gold separately.
It's time to play the game.
I had to change the name. Rolly the fan is playing. You couldn't find his name.
Bitch, I'm that damn good.
Smoking on some good, some rosy on the wood. Standing on this shit so you can get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good.
Bitch, I'm that damn good.
Smoking on some good, something rosy on the wood. And bitch, I got the belt so you just get it.
Yeah, yo. That was kind of weak. I don't know why. I don't know why that was so weak. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first Wrestling Weekly Report in over a month. It's okay though. I'm going to try to cover everything that we have missed. Close to everything. Shout out to the Queen. We'll talk about the Queen. Of course, I am your host, the illustrious, your role model, the Blueprints. Yeah, look how the light reflect on that. You feel me? The Blueprint. We just gonna jump right in. This is pretty much gonna be a full before we get started episode. We do have a lot of subscribers. We have officially hit 600 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Last time I checked, I believe it was 602. So shout out to each and every last one of you. I'm a fucking rapper. Should I link my freestyle? It doesn't even matter. I'm a fucking rapper. But shout out to each and every last one of you. We got 602 subscribers. Before we get started, I just want to let you all know that I do cover what dirt sheets report, but I don't really believe dirt sheets at all. I believe about 20% of what's posted on dirt sheets. So, you know, you'll hear me talking about dirt sheet shit, or sometimes I won't even cover it at all just because I don't even think it's fucking worth it. But make sure you all are hitting those social sites at Dame Don on Twitter and Don Life with 2 N's and 2 E's on Instagram. First, let's just jump in and say Cody Rose has finally made his long-awaited return. Is it long-awaited? To WWE. Me personally, I feel like when Cody first left AEW, I thought it was a bunch of bullshit. I thought this was some type of storyline to get us to cheer Cody or something of that nature. I truly didn't see Cody going to WWE, especially after when he debuted in AEW. He like destroyed Triple H's throne, and now it's come out that, oh, Triple H is my favorite wrestler. Whatever. But yeah, he destroyed his throne and everything. But I feel like it really speaks volumes that an EVP of the company is going to leave. Like, you are like an executive of this company. And I feel like it speaks value, or it speaks volumes, that you're going to have somebody of that level, of that magnitude, actually choose to walk away. I feel like that definitely means there's something going on behind the scenes, maybe something that doesn't meet the naked eye. There are a lot of fans that are very biased towards AEW, so whatever AEW does, there's no harm, no foul anyway. Nobody gives a fuck if they fuck up. It's just do away with it. But like I've said in the past, if Dave Meltzer reported that Vince controlled the weather, everybody would be on Twitter saying fuck Vince every time it rained and snowed. So fans are very biased to AEW. But I think it speaks volume I don't know why I keep saying value. It speaks volumes that an executive of the company is actually going to go and leave the company. I truly, truly believe that speaks volumes. There's also been talk that MJF has been upset with his contract. He's been having contract issues with AEW. They're saying that it's likely he may go to WWE in 2024. I think there's a lot of people that are going to go to WWE. While AEW is fun and you have like the creative control and everything like that, after you do that for so long, then what? Then what? Like the when you go to WWE, it's just everybody's dream, kind of. Nobody as a kid dreamed of wrestling at Double or Nothing, and that's not taking anything away from AEW, but nobody dreamed of wrestling at Double or Nothing or Bound for Glory or Ring of Honor Supercard or whatever, like these big shows are. Like, that wasn't these people's dreams. It was always WrestleMania. So I feel like there is a chance that pretty much everybody on the AEW roster would make the jump. Even though Darby Allin was like, oh, I'm a lifer, I'll never leave. There's a chance he'll go back too, or he'll go too. I know that there's people that think Matt Hardy will never go back, and Jericho will never go back, and Daniel Bryan will never go back. I think you all are fucking insane. I think you all are insane. If Bret Hart can go back to WWE after everything that happened with Bret Hart, anybody can go back to WWE. They all come back eventually, no matter how long it takes. CM Punk is eventually going to be back in WWE. He talks about them every time he has a fucking mic, so clearly he misses them. CM Punk will 100% be back in WWE at some point. I don't know whether it's within the next 5 years, the next 10 years, I don't know. I don't know if he'll be actually wrestling there, I don't know. But CM Punk will 100% be back in WWE unless like something tragic happens, God forbid. But like, he'll definitely be there. But Cody's being booked as a top star. They are really looking at him and pushing him as one of the top stars of Monday Night Raw, which is really good, meaning he didn't really leave that spot for no reason. I almost think maybe Cody never wanted to be AEW champion, because it is on record that he's always stated he never wanted to be AEW champion. Part of me maybe thinks that now that he's come out and he's doing these promos about Dusty, part of me thinks that he never wanted to be AEW World Champion because he wanted the first World Championship to be like associated, like that first major one to be WWE. And I know he's won the Impact World title and the NWA World title, but yeah, those are there, but I still don't feel like those are like on the level of like a AEW title or a WWE title. Really, a AEW title isn't really even on the level of a WWE title yet. Like, WWE has been around forever. There's no way that this title is on the same level, but maybe that's part of me. That was kind of what I was thinking immediately when I was hearing his promo. Like, maybe that's why he never wanted to win the AEW championship, because deep down he always knew that he wanted that real first big title to be a WWE championship for his dad. Asuka has finally made her return, and she will be going head to head with Becky Lynch. I absolutely love Asuka. I'm so happy that they found a place for her. I'm so happy that she is finally back and in action. I cannot wait to see her in a nice one-on-one match for a good 15-20 minutes. I really cannot wait to see that. Speaking of returns, Alexa Bliss has came back. Stone Cold came back and fucking killed it at WrestleMania. I can't believe Stone Cold was taking fucking suplexes on the concrete and all that other kind of shit with the Kevin Owens match. And make sure you all watch that video if you haven't seen it. And then he came out the next night and stunned Vince and Pat and Austin. Like, that was absolutely fucking insane. But there has been a lot of returns coming. Mustafa Ali has finally returned. Everybody was doing this whole free Ali thing, and Ali is back. So I hope that this goes somewhere good for him. I really hope that Ali really does get his just due. Ali is a very, very, very underrated talent. Very underrated talent since 205 Live days. They definitely can find something for him to do, and they obviously see something in him, which is why they wouldn't release him. Jade Cargill, that bitch show is officially 30-0. Shout out to Jade. Shout out to Jay. Jay showed me so much love on social media all the time. All the time. I love Jay so much. She replies to DM. She opens DM. She likes messages. Jade is probably one of the most active wrestlers there is. I absolutely love Jade. I absolutely love this bond that I feel like we created in my head, but I'm not really sure if it's there or not. I will definitely be seeing Jade in Milwaukee at the AEW show. I am praying to God she has a match. Like, I really need Jade to have a match in Milwaukee. I know for sure I'll see Brian, so I'm not really worried about seeing Brian, but I'm very worried about seeing Jade. I 100% need to see Jade live. If I see Jade wrestle a match this year, I have seen literally all of my favorite wrestlers wrestle this year, or at least live. Triple H, Trish Stratus, Rob. I didn't see Rob Van Dam, but Rob Van Dam was like liking my fucking tweets and shit. That counts. Bryan Danielson. Like, you know, I'm missing one, but I would have seen all of my favorite wrestlers this year. And I think it's time we add the Queen to the top 5. I think we're gonna have to make this a top 10, but we'll figure that out later. Speaking of the Queen, woo! Speaking of the Queen, Charlotte has ended her 138 day, I believe, title reign as SmackDown Women's Champion. And before that, she was Raw Women's Champion. So Charlotte has been champion for about a year, because you remember her and Becky swapped the titles. So Charlotte Flair has been champion for about a year, just about. Yeah, if not longer. Charlotte Flair's been the champion for about a year. She is now taking time off. They're saying that she's suspended indefinitely. I'm pretty sure that they're going to do that because she's getting married to Andrade pretty soon. As I stated on the Backlash Results show, she was tweeting that she had found the dress and things of that nature. So the Queen will be getting married. I did see something this morning that said she's penciled in for around the summer. So I would expect to see the Queen around maybe Money in the Bank, SummerSlam. Ooh, I shouldn't have said Money in the Bank, because now that kind of makes me want to go to Money in the Bank. But anyway, the Queen will come back and regain her throne and take it away from that pathetic little bitch, Ronda Rousey. I hate Ronda Rousey. And of course, like I said at the beginning, since I am so behind, we're obviously not going in order of the weeks. I'm just kind of going as I want to go, honestly. Judgment Day, Edge, Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest. I finally said his name right. Judgment Day is here. Judgment Day is upon us. I really enjoyed this group. I really enjoy Edge's new theme song, his new look. I love how they're reading his accolades when he comes out to the ring. The only thing with the Judgment Day stable is what I would say is I really feel like that spot should have been Chauncey Blackheart instead of Rhea Ripley. Only because Chauncey is so underutilized right now. It's kind of almost like they don't know what to do with Chauncey. Chauncey has that same look when it comes to like the tattooed, rough around the edges. Like, she has that same look as Rhea. Maybe Chauncey didn't want to dye her hair black. Maybe that was like one of the things. Maybe that's what it was. But I really feel like Chauncey would have been better in that position just because it would have elevated her. Yeah, it definitely would have elevated her, because once this group is done, Rhea and Damian are going to come out looking like absolute fucking monsters. When Damian eventually turns on Edge in maybe a year or so or whatever, and then they have this match and Damian wins, he is going to be a fucking star once he finally gets from under Edge's spell. He's going to be a star. Mark my words. Speaking of returns also, I did miss this return. Let's jump back to Lacey Evans has finally returned to the WWE. And I was honestly actually really looking forward to seeing the sassy Southern Belle, the Lord help me, whatever the fuck she be saying. I love Lacey Evans, like the Lord I love that Lacey Evans, but instead they're making her like this cadet Lacey Evans. And it's also being stated that like she was doing these really emotional vignettes over the last couple of weeks, but now she's coming out as a heel. Much kind of like Kurt Angle back in the day when they did all these vignettes for Kurt Angle, making him seem like a hero and things of that nature. And then once Angle came out, he was like, you all need to fucking respect me. Did you see all that shit I did? Y'all need to fucking respect me. You know what I'm saying? So it looks like they're kind of going on that path for Lacey Evans. And according to what I read, they may be going on that path for Lacey Evans. But again, I don't really believe dirt sheets. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see. Roman Reigns has a new schedule. Roman will no longer be working smaller market house shows. He will also be taking time off over the summer, missing pay-per-views. It does look like Cody Rose has already replaced him as the headliner for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view in Chicago. I am still thinking about going to Chicago. What my plan is actually is I think if I do go, I'm going to get my ticket day of because it won't be as high. I did notice that with WrestleMania. At WrestleMania, there were people getting like floor seats for like $100 because it was day of. So I'm just going to wait until day of and see if I want to take that drive to Chicago and go to Hell in a Cell because it is only like an hour and 30-minute drive. But it really just kind of depends on who's on the card because since Charlotte Flair isn't there, it did kind of go down on the priority list. Now fucking Roman Reigns may not be there. It's going down on the priority list. But I do feel like we may get some type of Hell in a Cell tag team match with Judgment Day and Finn Balor and AJ Styles. Maybe they're going to add Liv Morgan in there, give us like a War Games type Hell in a Cell match. We'll just kind of have to see, but depending on the card, I will or won't go. Speaking of AJ and Finn have finally been put together as a duo temporarily. I did see some speculation online that fans are saying maybe Finn turns on AJ. I don't see Finn turning on AJ and joining Judgment Day. I definitely feel like we kind of need this clique reunion, this Bullet Club reunion. I really think we kind of need this reunion, but at the same time, I would love to see AJ Styles in a World Championship picture. I would also love to see Finn Balor in the World Championship picture. Finn Balor should have done way more than he's done at this time. He's only a one-time Universal Champion. He should be a multiple-time World Heavyweight Champion. Maybe it's a matter of they feel like maybe they can't trust him because when he won the title, he was injured. But I feel like he maybe proved them wrong when he went down to NXT and had that title and held it and had that whole Prince run in NXT. So that could be it, but hopefully that's not it. Speaking of it being it, Velveteen Dream is hoping that it's not it with his WWE career. He is saying that he wants back into the WWE after being falsely accused by the accuser that was saying that they were sexting or whatever exactly was going on. Velveteen Dream was actually falsely fired. They pretty much had no choice to fire him because every single time he was on TV, Fire Velveteen Dream was trending. And when the guy first posted the screenshots of the Texas with Velveteen Dream, when he first posted it, the account wasn't even verified. And then all of a sudden it was edited and then it was a verified account. So for me, it kind of just seemed like bullshit from the jump. I am very much hands-on on Twitter. Twitter is my favorite app, my priority app, number one priority, the only app I really can't like live without for real. Excuse me. So I pretty much see everything on Twitter. So when I first seen it, it wasn't even verified. So I'm like, yeah, this is bullshit. But it just kind of took on a life of its own and everybody was just falsely accusing him. He was so young, so full of talent. And I don't want to say it in past tense because I do believe at some point he has to come back. They have to bring him back. But at the same time, would it be like suicidal for WWE to bring him back? Would it be like, what do you call that? Like a marketing nightmare? Like, would it be a nightmare for them to bring him back to the WWE with all of the false allegations? Because if they're going to bring back people with false allegations, you can bring back Enzo, you can bring back Jack Gallagher. I think Gallagher actually did have some. And then the fucking guy from MSK. They released a guy from MSK, but they didn't release him for domestic violence. They released him for having like an Adolf Hitler picture that his ex-girlfriend fucking posted, Kimberly. And I was actually a really big fan of Kimberly. I really, really was. Until this whole incident. And it's just a really, really unfortunate incident. I hope we still get MSK as DLC in WWE 2K22. But they released Nick Carter, I believe, or Nick Cash, whatever his name is, and then the other one is just kind of there. So hopefully they find a spot for him and he's just not kind of lost in the sauce. There has been changes announced to the Money in the Bank potentially. We're still trying to figure out if it was just worded wrong or if Cody Rose actually meant that winning the Money in the Bank ladder match would give you a guaranteed opportunity to the main event of WrestleMania, I believe he said, instead of the Royal Rumble. It looks like they're making changes to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and they're changing it into one of the big five. Right now we have the big four, which is SummerSlam, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, and the Royal Rumble. So if they add Money in the Bank, that would become the big five instead of the big four. They're thinking about making changes. I personally feel like they should just get rid of the pay-per-view and put the ladder match back on WrestleMania. Put the ladder match back on WrestleMania. The WrestleMania Money in the Bank ladder matches were the best. Then you have that full year up until WrestleMania, and then it gives you the opportunity to put all of these people on the card. And then since you have women doing it now you can put all these women on the card. And you could even do, since there's 2 nights, you could do the men on one night and the women on the second night. Like, it's really not that hard. I really think they should just honestly put the Money in the Bank matches back on WrestleMania. I don't like the little match themed pay-per-views like Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, TLC. I don't like those kind of pay-per-views. I feel like it kind of makes it unspecial. Because like just this past year, we had an Extreme Rules pay-per-view and not one match was Extreme Rules. So I feel like if we're not going to actually have these matches, if we're not going to have every match inside of a Hell in a Cell, if every match is not going to be a TLC or a tables match or a chairs match or something involving these weapons with every single match, we shouldn't have it. If these weapons aren't being used in every single match, we do not need them. So like to have a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules and every match on the match card is a normal match is fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I wish they would just get rid of the pay-per-view themed names because it also takes away like the surprise of it. Like when SummerSlam is coming up and there's 6 guys fighting in the ring and then, William Regal comes out and he just randomly goes, War Games! Everybody will be like, what the fuck? War Games? But you know what I'm saying? If it's 6 people in the ring and Elimination Chamber is Sunday, then we looking at the 6 people that's going to be in the chamber Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they could really change that. They could really switch that up. There has been a lot of WWE talent going back down to NXT. Finn Balor, Dolph Ziggler, Mandy Rose, Natalya, the Viking Raiders. I do feel like this is a very good opportunity for these younger talent to really get some experience and really learn some things from these people, because it definitely does feel like NXT has turned back into like the developmental brand. Mandy Rose is absolutely over there killing it. She's like 170 something days in as women's champion. They just debuted these new championships for not only the men but also the women. I really do enjoy the designs of the titles. They fit the show a lot more. Mandy Rose is at the forefront of the women's division and she is absolutely killing it. Absolutely killing it. Much love to Mandy Rose. Keep improving. Keep going. The only thing with Mandy Rose is I wish she would start back using that Bed of Roses finisher instead of just the knee every time. Because like the knee is it. Don't get me wrong. I fuck with the knee. The knee is it. But I definitely feel like sometimes you could really use that exclamation point with that Bed of Roses, that sit out face buster, whatever the fuck it's called. We could really use that. I really feel like she should go back to use that move. Mia Yim has returned to Impact Wrestling. She was previously in Impact as Jade, but she is now Mia Yim using her real name. I think that's her real name, or it's her wrestling name, whatever. I feel like Impact needs a new channel. I have been saying this for so long now. I almost want to write a fucking letter. Can somebody tell me who to send the letter to? Impact needs a new channel so bad. It's not even funny. There's so much shit going on over Impact. The Iconics were just there and they just retired. Can we all just have a moment of silence for Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, Jessie McKay and Cassie Lee, the Iconics? We are inspiration. Rise down low and give me. The Iconics have officially retired from wrestling. I'm devastated. I have never seen the Iconics live one time. That was my big thing when they were released from WWE. Like, oh my fucking God, I have never seen them live. Like, I absolutely love the Iconics. I have all of their merch. And I guess since they're not doing anything else, I guess it's time for me to go ahead and apply to their OnlyFans or whatever the fuck their website is. Immediately after they announced their retirement, Billy Kay did announce that she has a movie role that she'll be starring in. So congratulations to Billy Kay for landing that movie role. And it looks like we'll be seeing a lot more of her on a lot bigger screen. So shout out to you, and I'll definitely be looking into your OnlyFans, Cassie Lee Peyton Royce. Roman Reigns has unified the WWE Universal Championships, making him another undisputed champion. They're obviously not going to unify the titles and make it just one title, but I do feel like they've kind of backed themselves into a corner, because now how do you get the title off of Roman Reigns? Sure, you could have somebody do a Money in the Bank cash-in, but then that would be beating Roman Reigns for the first time in, 2-3 years? I really feel like they're going to have to maybe play it safe and do a ladder match if you want to keep Roman completely unbeaten. They're obviously going to have to do something where the Raw title is on the line and not the SmackDown title, because we previously spoke about Fox not wanting to share talent. Fox wants exclusivity on talent. Fox doesn't like the fact that Roman Reigns and the Usos and Charlotte Flair are all going over to Monday Night Raw when they're supposed to be Fox exclusive. They don't like that. So you can probably expect to see that to come to an end, and you can probably expect to see that title coming off of Roman a lot sooner than they planned. But my whole thing is, how the fuck do you get the title off of Roman after you've built him up as this fucking monster for like the last 2 years? I mean, for God's sakes, he's been champion for 600 something days now. Who the fuck do you have beat him, and how? You gonna have Cody Rose do a crossroads? Really? I mean, maybe you could do something like a cash-in after a match. I just don't see how they're going to get the title off Roman Reigns, honestly. Another person, who the fuck is going to take the title off Ronda Rousey? I know Ronda just won the title. Get it off of her. Get it off of her. Everybody, get the title off of Ronda Rousey, please. Speaking of titles, can we please, for the love of God, get rid of these fucking nickel tag team championships? I am so tired of these titles. They look terrible. I hate the Raw tag title. I hate the SmackDown tag title. They're literally blue belts with fucking a quarter and 2 nickels on the side. I hate the tag team titles. Can we please get new tag team titles with side plates or something? I hate these tag titles. Can we please do something with these tag titles? Pretty please. MVP has turned on Bobby Lashley and is now alongside Omos. This may be really good for Omos. Bobby Lashley is now a babyface going in, and Omos can go in the ring. I wouldn't really compare him to the Great Khali or anything of that nature, because the Great Khali was absolutely fucking terrible in the ring. He was absolutely awful in the ring, and Omos can actually go in the ring. He can actually move. He does have that talking thing that was maybe kind of holding him back, which is why they probably put him with MVP. But I think in the long run, this is really going to make Almas a monster, and then they give him this nickname of the Nigerian Giant to really make him sound larger than life, like he is really coming to whoop your ass. And not only that, but they hold the camera looking up at him, so like he really does look like this huge Nigerian giant under the tutelage of MVP, who has been wrestling for fucking eons. And so he can really go ahead and give Almas that experience and those critiques he may needs that he may not even knows he needs, or he knows he needs and doesn't know how to get. But I do think that this will be good for Almas in the long run. Austin Theory, now known as Just Theory, has become the new United States champion. I've always personally been a fan of Austin Theory, even before WrestleMania. I've always liked Austin Theory. You all used to like Austin Theory too. And then people started calling him the next John Cena. And then all of a sudden nobody liked Austin Theory anymore. But I remember everybody being pissed when Austin Theory was sent back down to NXT. And now he came back up to the main roster and nobody likes him. But everybody loved him when he was with Seth Rollins and Murphy as the Messiah or whatever. But now that he's back, nobody likes him again. I just don't. I don't even want to get into it. But I've always been a fan of Austin Theory. Austin Theory is the new United States champion. It is very obvious Vince sees something in him. And I just truly hope that Austin Theory is able to live up to the potential. And he doesn't like crack under pressure, because that is a lot for the chairman to tell you, oh, you're a future Universal Champion, a star, da-da-da. Like pretty much the same shit he did with Drew McIntyre. So hopefully he can live up to the hype, because the first time Drew was around, he could not. So hopefully this isn't a Drew McIntyre situation. Austin Theory is really young. I think he's only like 22, 23. So hopefully that doesn't play a factor. Hopefully he has his head on straight and he can just really go out and do that shit, because I'm pretty sure he can. I think they really need to start using Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode in a better light. I'm really ready for them to actually split them up and give them both world championship feuds or something. Bobby Roode, once he left NXT, was a bona fide future world heavyweight champion. I'm not sure what the fuck happened or why he's not in a title picture and he's just doing like these little tag team shits with Dolph Ziggler. Both of these people are way better than what they've been able to show. They've been a lot better than what they're able to show, and I really do feel like they need to split them up and do something different with them, because them together is just not working for me at all. Sonya Deville has been relieved of her duties as a WWE official, which caused the return of Alexa Bliss. I kind of actually really like Sonya in this role. It kept Sonya on TV. I really hope that Sonya going back into a performer role doesn't kind of see her level down the card. As you all know, I love Sonya Deville's theme song. I am a beast. I am a menace. I am the storm. I'm coming to say what? Bro, I love Sonya Deville theme song. Don't test me. Don't test me. I love her theme song. But yeah, I hope we still see a good amount of Sonya Deville, and this isn't like her going down the card and seeing her every once in a while. I absolutely love Butch. I know everybody hates Butch, not hates Butch, you know, like not everybody hates Butch like Pete Dunne, but everybody hates that they changed Pete Dunne into Butch. But I feel like if you separate the fact that Butch is now Pete Dunne and you just focus on this person being Butch, Butch is absolutely tremendous. Pete plays this role so fucking well. Like from the second they gave it to him, like that, just that little rascal's little brother, like, oh, I'm gonna, like very much Scrappy Doo. Pete Dunne gives me very much Scrappy Doo. It is amazing to see. And I feel like people can enjoy it because everybody's so focused on the fact that, oh, they changed him from Pete Dunne to Butch. But if you really just pay attention to what the fuck Butch is doing, he is doing great work. They haven't cut his hair, so, you know, he could potentially go back to Pete Dunne at any point. It has come out that WWE is changing names. They don't want people using their old indie names or their real names. They really want to use a name or give you a name that they can really trademark and make it theirs, so that when you leave, you can't use that name. But people that were already using their name and then you change their name and then they leave, their name's going to be bigger than it was with you. I don't know if y'all... But yeah, it'll be bigger. Because that's kind of what's happening with everybody. When they leave WWE and go somewhere else, everybody loves them so much all of a sudden. Like, where the fuck were all these Isaiah Swerve Scott fans at? Like, yes, I did love Hit Row and all that shit. But where the fuck was all these people at? Big Cass has made his AEW debut, and it is said that WWE has been interested. Big Cass has actually been killing it in Impact for quite some time, and this is why I'm telling you Impact needs a new channel, because Big Cass has been doing his shit for quite some time in Impact, and just not enough people know. Not enough people are watching. I'm not going to say nobody cares, but I really just feel like it boils down to not enough people know. Impact was pulling in millions of viewers at one point, and now they're just averaging like 100,000 viewers. They really need a new channel. They really need to get their fucking shit together. They're putting on great TV every single week, and it's almost like they would do better on YouTube. I know people on YouTube getting more than 100,000 views. So it's almost like they would do better on YouTube. You know, it's just not... It's not good, and I really hope that they can change this around and really do get a new channel. Speaking of not good and changing around, everybody has really been bitching about this Drew Gulak change of him being the ring announcer and then doing something else. It doesn't even look like they're actually just permanently putting him in these roles. It looks like this is kind of like a Drew Gulak story, maybe. I'm not really sure what's going on with Drew Gulak, but Charlotte Flair has been whooping his ass at every chance he get, and at every chance she gets, and as she should, because I feel like, you know, he doesn't respect the queen. He needs to bend the knee, he needs to sit up straight, and he needs to acknowledge that we are in the presence of greatness. Woo! 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 Last thing before we get out of here, very last thing. Wait, let me make sure this is our last thing, because some of this stuff I can talk about next week. Some of this stuff ain't that important. Yes, our last thing before we get out of here. There has been a Big E update. Big E will have to stay in a neck brace a little longer to try to avoid getting neck surgery. We definitely wish Big E a speedy recovery. I still don't like Rich Holland for attacking him like that. I really fucking don't. I really don't like him for that. But the rest of this stuff I will cover on next week's Before We Get Started, because I actually don't have a Before We Get Started for next week's episode, and I could use this stuff for the Before We Get Started next week. So that is all I have for this week's episode, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all enjoyed it. Welcome to all of my new subscribers. Of course, I am your host, the illustrious, your role model, the blueprint, Dame Don. And wait, before I get out of here, make sure you all subscribe to all of my social sites. At Dame Don on Twitter. At Don Life with 2 N's and 2 E's on Instagram. Deuces.
I got a cold shoulder for a fuck nigga if you prove me a mob. I'm pulling up, I got a hammer. I threw an X on the bed.